Okay, today we are going to talk about 5 creative NFT use cases. My name is Elisha. I'm a Technical Innovation Director at Fresh Consulting. And
Yep, and I'm Johnny Rodriguez, and I'm our Strategic Innovation Director here at Fresh.
yes, so Johnny, 2021 was very hot year for the NFTs, and a lot of us flocked into purchasing, or at least thought about purchasing NFT arts on platforms like OpenSea, and following a lot of artists of favorite arts that we have. And I know, Johnny, you recently purchased this chibi 3D art character that looked pretty cool, and you placed in the Horizon Worlds. I think you placed it in some land world.
Oh, yeah.
View them, right?
Yeah, so I have been using spatial.io. I've been following them since I think like 2014 or something like that. They've been doing really cool stuff, and then they recently pivoted to be more of like NFT for experiences or conference or exhibitions of art and things like that. And so yeah, purchasing the NFTs, placing it in a 3D environment that can be consumed online, so like a form of the metaverse, and then placing NFTs inside of my virtual little world or environment. So yeah, definitely some interesting stuff with NFTs now.
Yeah, and what I've started to see in 2022 is use case of NFTs beyond just purchasing as digital art and just looking at them in the world. And today we want to talk about 5 creative use cases. And the first one that I want to show starts with the familiar looking NFT use case, which looks like a wearables that can be used on your avatar. But what's very unique about the Gap Threads, it's the program they call it, is that you can actually own the merch in real life as long as you collect some of the NFTs that they are minting to you. And I think this is something interesting where instead of just focusing on the wearables in the metaverse, Gap is kind of bringing that tie back into the physical clothes, so that it's not just about like selling this digital asset that they created, but it's also about creating excitement of getting actual real life merchandise. And I think it's a hoodie that they designed, and there's some leaks around the type of the design they're looking to create. But what do you think, Johnny? This is very interesting. I think you predicted some of this back in 2021.
Yeah, I think I remember doing we did Twitter Spaces or something like that, talking about NFTs kind of moving outside of collection, right? And I think, yeah, we're starting to see a lot of utility, I think is what they're calling it, utility tied to NFTs. And I've been really interested in the utility on the metaverse related things. So it's not just something you put in a digital gallery and it's a 2D kind of picture. The idea of it's an NFT that is actually a vehicle that can be used in the metaverse or a house. So this is really cool to see what Gap's doing here. I have followed a little bit about this, so it's just really interesting. I think the immediate impression I got, by the way, when I got this was is the in real life merch the actual gold? Is there going to be a gold sweatshirt that I'm getting? And to clear that up, no, it's not. This is just a way to visualize that you have gotten, they have the gold, silver, rose gold, and gold, or the copper, I guess is the other one. But yeah, I think it's a pretty cool concept. And I think that what's really creative about it is that they actually haven't created the merch. They're just saying eventually there's going to be merch. I think what they did is it's there's a marketing play to this of let's put it out there. And then if there's hype and it does the minting, right? The drop that we do ends up getting sold out, which as you can see, it's all completely sold out very quickly. Then they're saying, okay, then cool, then we'll make actual merch. And so it's always been backwards in the world. Before 2022, it's been here's this cool merch, let's see if people buy this brand new line of whatever because we've partnered with this athlete or this celebrity. And then sometimes it does well, sometimes it doesn't, right? And then you see that celebrity on commercials promoting it and all that. And this is actually backwards. It's here's the clothing, it's exclusive rights to epic NFT in real life merchandise. And then they're saying but you have to have access through the NFTs. And so it's kind of
Yeah,
like a way to get to it. So yeah, it's super super interesting.
yeah,
I love hearing that.
super creative on their end. Yeah, well, we're excited to see what the actual merch looks like when it comes out. And we are going to now move on to the world's first NFT restaurant. And what the NFT portion comes in for this one is that you become exclusive member. It's a token used to verify that you're a member of this restaurant, and I think it is exclusive to the members to experience the dining. And of course, it is led by none other than Gary Vaynerchuk. Of course, he's the first one to do something like this, right, in this space. And this is, I think, interesting for me because if I think about how do I get invited to dine at this exclusive restaurant, I think it's in New York. I probably have to know people. I have to be in New York. Probably have to, have my influence or have my popularity kind of helps me to get invited to like exclusive clubs, right? And I think the game here is a little bit different where as long as you have money, you can purchase the private dining like membership experience. And it doesn't matter if you live in New York or if you have like experience or if you are influential, you can actually own the rights to be part of the membership. Do you think, Johnny, would you like to be a member of club like this in the future? Maybe not the restaurant, but in different membership
Yeah,
experiences.
yeah. I think it's that's where I started seeing is like the NFT becomes like the membership ID card, right? And
Mhm.
you come in and it's like, okay, well, let's validate your access essentially. And typically in the past that would be like you're holding a physical card, right? It's like you
Mhm.
walk into Costco, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Costco, you
yeah.
show your card, you kind of flash it, and then you go in. I don't know if I was holding up my card or my dad's card or my brother's card,
Right.
or if I've handed that off. Like there's no proof of that. And then the other things are more of like your movie ticket might be an example of that, right? You come into a movie theater,
Right.
you show their ticket. Again, could have been proof or not, like tickets to a show. So we're seeing a first kind of use case from a restaurant perspective. This actually
Yeah.
brings up, I think that the pattern that Gary Vee is doing here comes from the pattern that we saw with, have you heard of Board Ape Yacht Club?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I think that he saw this. My guess is that he saw, because Board Ape Yacht Club is a big one. It's
Mhm.
probably the number one. I would say probably the largest known NFT, and this is art based collection. Board Ape Yacht Club. You can go to their website, boardapeyachtclub.com. But it has that same concept of what is happening with the NFT restaurant, where it's, yes, you collect the art. That's great. But if you go to the website, it also tells you this limited NFT collection where the token itself doubles as your membership to the Swamp Club for Apes. The club is open, ape in with us, right? So you go to enter the club and you go and connect it, and you have to actually have ownership of that NFT to actually come into this yacht club. And this yacht club is just benefits, its perks, its ability to go to like floor side or like floor seats at a basketball game, or like once a year connection, and you might be sitting next to Board Yacht Club member. The number one is Jimmy Fallon, for example, and then you have others that are changing, like big celebrities that might have access to it. And so you saw it from like that perspective of like a virtual membership. And I love that Gary Vee brought it into the fish club,
Yeah.
or the fly fish
A
club restaurant.
physical
Yeah,
membership where you can actually
super
eat and
cool.
dine. Yeah, it's super cool. I'd like to follow the story that unfolds for them as well. Now I want to talk about Luck Collection. This is basically in collaboration with the British Museum. NFTs, when I think about it, it's all digital arts that's like created by new artists in the digital era. And I think that's what a lot of us also seen in like markets like OpenSea. Like it's all cool 3D, like moving, motion, bright lights, neon colors. I think what's interesting here is that they took old art. So this is featuring the art by Hokusai. The traditional art paintings that's first drawn in physical world, and in the past brought to life. Oh, I should probably scroll that one. Brought to life as an NFT, and it works as an NFT because it is led by a museum that basically adds the authenticity to the NFT digital data, not just anybody on the internet just scanning the art, but it's by the museum printing limited editions of the Hokusai art. And I think this is another case of kind of how things may have reversed a little bit, where the use case is reversed from like a new art, cool digital art, to like, let's enjoy traditional art. Now you can own a copy of traditional art, not in a physical copy, but in the digital copy version.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. Yeah, I think I know that there's like the one of the bigger auction houses in the UK that has a presence in Decentraland, which is a metaverse kind of environment, and they sell NFT art like Banksy and things like that. So it's like there's some overlap here, but this is a slightly different because this wasn't art created for NFTs, and it also wasn't art that, you know, this is like old art, 1760, 1849, and they have, as Elisha has here on the screen, 100 editions rare. Like, I know that there's one piece of art, I think it's the Colosseum one, if I remember correctly. It talked about how they will only have 20 total that are being sold. So this one that he has on the screen has 100 editions. There's one that's 20. 9 are ultra rare. There's only 2 of those, and then 7 will be super rare, and then 4 will be open edition. And there might be, anyway, so like the idea of like there is still scarcity in the way that in the real life, like, hey, there's only one Mona Lisa art, right? In this case, it's like, hey, we have 20 versions of this. If you don't have one of these 20, that's all there is. You know, it's like that's the total amount, and then you can actually prove that you own that. From your perspective.
And in that same like a line of thinking, what's interesting that now there is going to be a Seattle NFT Museum where you are going to see a displays of NFT art instead of actual art.
Yeah.
And in the physical museum form. And it is opening up January 14th. And for the public, it is actually opening up in 27th January.
Yeah.
So maybe, Johnny, you actually may be in town to see this. But I think this is the first kind of NFT-based museum where maybe like people who are not familiar with NFT can even go with the family who are familiar with it and experience what the NFT is all about. Instead of looking at it in the browser, it could create a different kind of experience by going into gallery, where you don't have to wear a headset. Not everyone has a headset, right? You can actually go into the physical place and experience it. And the last one I want to quickly touch on is the Ling Style. This is a decentralized organization where people come together for a common goal. And this is not like a government. This is not like a city. This is not a physical location-based organization. This is all on the digital blockchain space. What's notable about this is that they raise funds, $10 million, by selling NFTs in a goal to actually buy a golf course and offer membership to access the golf course. And last year we talked so much about like how virtual land was, sold for millions of dollars. Now we're talking about buying a physical land with the virtual money that you made. And this is another like a reverse case that we're seeing, that if you don't have money, then raise money on NFT and just buy the land that you want. And of course, we're going to watch how this unfolds. They haven't bought a land yet, but they raised money. So it'll be interesting to follow, like if they can actually buy land and how as a community based online can manage the physical space together.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, we'll follow and probably create more follow-up videos about these things in the future. But for now, we want to wrap it up. Please follow us on our Twitter accounts for more real-time updates, and subscribe to our YouTube video for more videos like this, and also follow our blog post on this one. Thank you for watching us today.
Awesome.
See you.